When looking at this child, several words may come to mind: disruptive, rowdy, troublemaker. A teacher may view this image as their absolute worst nightmare. But why? Why does our society connote energetic students with poor behavior? And why does this image make us think of a healthy learning environment? Our nation faces a dilemma. The technological advancements of the United States have come at the cost of an education system that does not allow students to fully develop their human personality. Let's travel back to the 1940s, 1945 to be exact, when the United States detonated their first ever atomic bomb. This fundamental moment in American history would be followed by a period of rapidly increasing advancements in technology. Scientists saved lives with the invention of the heart-lung machine. They made leaps of progress in naval warfare with the first ever nuclear submarine. They brought hope to a nation in distress with the polio vaccine. However, this was not good enough. As the United States was making important steps in our technological advancements as a nation, the Soviet Union was one step ahead. Following the launch of Sputnik by the Soviet Union in 1957, the United States entered into a period which would be known as the space race, where the US competed fiercely against the Soviet Union to earn our place as a leading country in technology and restore our American pride. With this competitive mindset came reforms in our education system that would affect the academic experience of students for generations to come. In 1958, Congress passed the National Defense Education Act, which led to the development of math and science programs. Following this act was a shift in classroom focus, prioritizing math, science, and technology over alternative subjects. During this period, the United States' major focus was to prove our worth as a country and redeem ourselves from the Soviet Union's victory accompanying the launch of Sputnik. This time in history became known as the Golden Age of Science Education. Classes became more rigorous, testing became more important, and keeping up with technological advancements became the focus of education. It was during this period that theorists first began to question the purpose of education. At a School Science and Mathematics Association conference, theorists discussed the shift from what used to be an importance on individual personality development to an increasing importance on knowledge acquisition. Students no longer attended school to become well-rounded individuals, but rather to acquire the skills to advance our nation technologically. With this golden era, however, came costs. Budgets increased for math, science, and technology education. Schools put their money towards services to push children toward life paths of math and science. However, funding for these specialized programs was not infinite. Although students' knowledge of math and science was increasing, schools were forced to begin making budget cuts in other subjects. Not to mention, the achievement gap became more prominent as schools with larger budgets were able to provide their students with more enrichment programs. This moves us forward to the election of George W. Bush and the No Child Left Behind Act, which aimed to provide programs to disadvantaged students. The introduction of this program gave our nation hope for improvements in education. However, Bush failed to include important programs such as physical education and art in the main curriculum. This came with a cost. By 2005, the percentage of children and teens that were overweight had tripled since 1980. Some schools were even forced to raise their own money to hire PE teachers. Although the No Child Left Behind Act addressed the importance of art, there were no mandated standards set, which led schools to cut programs entirely. According to a 2004 survey of a California school, students enrolled in music courses had decreased by 50% since 1999, despite an increase in student population. As James Catterall explains, the arts promote positive social behavior, collaboration with others, ability to express emotions, tolerance, and attention to moral development. But these skills did not show up in standardized testing, so therefore they must not have been too important, right? In ancient times, education was meant to broaden the minds of scholars, to create writers, poets, architects, thinkers. Now, our education system is centered around ambiguous standards that push students to blindly accept information. Rather than raising thinkers, we are overwhelming our students with so many standards that they have forgotten how to think. We are now brought to our education system today, where academic growth continues to focus on homogeneous standards for heterogeneous students. Rather than growing to be lifelong learners, students are being taught the skills to earn favorable grades and impress the state with their test scores. We push and push children to fit into a societal mold that supposedly benefits our country. However, if we raise everyone to be mathematicians, then who will fill our museums with art? If we teach our students to compete with one another, then how will they collaborate with others in their future jobs? Have we ever thought about taking a step back from the politics of our education system and remembering why we are educating children in the first place? Is it to raise a generation who can jump through hoops to earn a degree so they can apply minimal effort in a humdrum job? Or is it to shape the minds of our youth to grow into productive members of society, to provide children with the resources they need to explore their own potential and to utilize their unique personality to work toward the betterment of society? Although we are no longer running the space race against the Soviet Union, our country is in a constant, rigorous competition to earn our place in the world. Sure, the United States has proven that we can succeed as one of the leading world powers in technology. But I have to wonder, is the prize worth the cost of the personalities that make our youth uniquely human?